Let us discuss important current affairs. Yesterday, February 28th is the National Science Day. February 28th is the National Science Day. Central government sanctioned 1200 crore to tackle Delhi air pollution. Central government sanctioned 1200 crore to tackle Delhi air pollution. Jupiter's icy moon named Europa. Jupiter's moon, it is full of ice, icy moon. Jupiter's moon is Europa. Europa can support life. Europa can support life. Lamity 2018. L-A-M-I-T-Y-E. Lamity 2018 is a India-Seychelles joint military exercises. Lamity 2018 is India-Seychelles joint military exercises. Canada welcomes Syrian refugees. Canada, the Canadian government, the Liberal government in Canada, welcomes Syrian refugees. AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, has approved 1.5 billion loan to India. Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank has approved 1.5 billion loan to India. Next. AIIB have approved $1.5 billion loan to India. Next. Government launches second Swajal Yojana project in Rajasthan. Second Swajal Yojana project in Rajasthan. Government launches second Swajal Yojana project in Rajasthan. Under this, reservoirs are to be constructed. Under this, reservoirs are to be constructed, and almost 300 households are to get common tap connections. Common tap connections. Okay. GDP growth prediction increased. GDP growth also got increased. In quarter 3 it is 7.2%. GDP growth in quarter 3 it is 7.2% from 6.5%. 7.2% from 6.5%. That is GDP growth in quarter 3. Kanchi Kamakoti Pitathipati Jayendra Saraswati passed away. Kanchi Kamakota Pitathipati Jayendra Saraswati passed away. Karti Chidambaram, the former finance minister, P.C. Chidambaram's son Karti Chidambaram got arrested with respect to INX media case. The allegation is he has taken bribes for flouting FIPB rules in 2007, or flouting Foreign Investment Promotion Board rules. It seems that he has taken some kickbacks. That was the allegation on Karti Chidambaram, and arrest was made. Investigation is going on by CBI. This was the other issue. Next is Aircel. Aircel, the famous mobile company, have announced bankruptcy, have actually applied for bankruptcy according to Bankruptcy Insolvency Code. 8 cell have applied for bankruptcy under Bankruptcy Insolvency Code. Bankruptcy Insolvency Code was made in the year 2016. Bankruptcy Insolvency Code was made in the year 2016. Okay, it was passed in the year 2016 to solve the bankruptcy cases. Next is Karti Chidambaram. Again, you all know Karti Chidambaram case, how Karti Chidambaram got arrested, and particularly Indrani Mukherjee, Sheena Bora Bhatta case, she has given some evidence, it seems. Based on that, Karti Chidambaram also got arrested. Next article is about united by a common purpose. United by a common purpose. The others spoke about constitution and rule of law. Land can be acquired from Indians based on a doctrine called eminent domain. E-M-I-N-E-N-T, eminent domain. Eminent domain means for public purpose, government take private lands by paying adequate compensation. For public purpose, government can take anybody's land by paying adequate compensation. You may get a question in prelims, what is eminent domain? Eminent domain means for public purpose, the government take away your land by paying a compensation. Basically, the law was made by Britishers, Land Acquisition Act 1894. Land Acquisition Act 1894. The basic law was made by Britishers. But later on, the new Land Acquisition Act have come into force in 2011, and in 2013 amendments were also made. Land Acquisition Act, Rehabilitation and Resettlement Act. Land Acquisition, Rehabilitation and Resettlement Act. Coming to the context again, there are two important issues. One is, in Land Acquisition Act, when you acquire a land, if you want to pay the compensation, according to section 24 of Land Acquisition Act, the compensation should be paid to the landowner. If he has not disputed about the compensation, if he has not taken the compensation, the money will go to the government treasury. But according to section 31, you have the money can go to the court also. Money can be deposited. Here comes a problem. The problem is, if the person did not take the compensation amount, what will happen to the money? There are two cases. In Pune Municipal Corporation case, the government after some period can take away the land without paying anything. But in the Pune Municipal Corporation case, the judges told it should not be the case. Government cannot completely take away that. This was the thing. Government cannot do that, and now government has to pay compensation to them. And when there is a delay in the payment of compensation, the government has to compensate adequately, otherwise the entire agreement will become nugatory. Entire agreement will become useless. This was a judgment given in Pune Municipal Corporation case. Again, in the next case, that was reversed. In the next case, similarly by Constitutional Bench, that was completely reversed. Indoor Development Authority, where if the person have not taken the compensation, if the government deposits the money and there is no requirement of making the entire agreement null and void, and the judgment came in support of government in Indoor Development Authority. Both the judgments are given by 3 judges bench, Constitutional Bench, and the other says you cannot counter the earlier judgment and the same judgment in the similar manner, and you cannot dispute the rule of law in this regard. This was the entire scenario, but you have to remember one thing. Land Acquisition Act 1894 gives a very meager compensation of absolute powers to the government to acquire any land. Land Acquisition Act, which was passed in the year which was passed, Land Acquisition Act 2011, recent Land Acquisition Act, use fair compensation, not just compensation, it is fair compensation. The difference between the old and new. And next thing is, social impact assessment was done away with. Social impact assessment was done away with in 5 sectors. If you want to acquire land for 5 different reasons, social impact assessment is not required. Example, rural infrastructure, rural housing, defense, and sometimes like important public purposes. For all these things, social impact assessment is done away with. This was the thing you have to remember. Though it impacts society, you can take land when it is for infrastructure, when it is for housing. Social impact assessment. Next, e-way bills. E-way bills. In e-way bills, GST e-way bills. When you transport goods from one place to other place, e-way bills have to be generated if the value of the good is more than 50,000. If the value of the goods is more than 50,000 and the transport is beyond 10 kilometers. Okay, interstate, intrastate, both. Within the state and outside the state also, you have to generate e-way bills. And these e-way bills are for basic accounting and basic transparency in tax payments, GST. This is first thing. Second thing, in the e-way bills there is one more issue. Right now, they want to start e-way bills from February 1st, but it was not followed properly, and they want to defer it to April 1st. That too, interstate, not intrastate, and from June 1st they want to start intrastate. Government is hurrying up for this because it is losing lot of tax revenue. It is losing lot of tax revenue. This is about e-way bills. Next is halving the syllabus and squaring the knowledge. Halving the syllabus and squaring the knowledge. Recently, Prakash Javadekar told, we are going to reduce the syllabus in class 8th, 9th, 10th, in all these classes. So, too much of syllabus actually burdens the student. In fact, even their knowledge accumulation is also becoming less. Too much of syllabus is ending up in cramming. Too much of syllabus is ending up in cramming. So, for that reason, they want to reduce the syllabus. This is the gist of the article. Next article is missing languages. Missing languages in India, in the next 10 years, we are going to miss around 3,000 languages. So, language is very important, but most of the dialects are missing. In fact, language is a way of life. Language tells a lot of new things to the world, and language carries our culture. But unfortunately, languages are missing. Recently, we read 42 languages recently missed in India, and from the time passing by, we are going to miss more and more languages. There was a term called language terrorism, where people will feel that it is better to speak the language which was followed by the majority people, and otherwise they will be discriminated and separated. So people tend to follow, it has become a fashion to go read English or to go for a majority language than to follow their own language. They fear that if they speak a language which is a minority language, they may be alienated from the society. They may be alienated or separated from the society. This is the thing which you have to remember. And next is about, we have Sputnik outer space mission in 1957, and the outer space treaty completed 50 years. And India's outer space, India is very supportive of outer space, all those things. This was the article related to outer space and India. Here comes one word called TERLS, TERLS. Tomba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station. Tomba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station in India. You have to remember this. TERLS. Tomba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station. And the last article is human rights and human rights protection. Encounter killings affect human rights. Encounter killings affects human rights. And Afghanistan president invited Taliban to be recognized as a political party. To be recognized as a political party. These are the important current affairs today.